Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
Yeah.
And say unto it, thus saith the Lord thy power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
Right, but behold, O Mount Seir, I'm against thee. So when we come out here and bring the gospel to you, what we're showing you is, well, what we're showing the world of Esau is that the Lord is against him. And see, the Lord was rocking with him. Let's get that in Psalms 53. I believe it's Psalms 54. The Lord was rocking with him, but to the point where he winds up destroying himself, man. So let me see if I can find that scripture. Like the reason why Esau was able to take down Gad and Reuben, because the Lord was rocking with him, man. But see, the Lord ain't rocking with Esau no more. And that's why his plans are going to hell. And it just goes to show you, if something is going to be done on this earth, it's going to be willed by the Heavenly Father. I think it's in Psalms, man. Psalms 50. Let me see something real quick, man. I want to quote the scriptures to the best of my ability, because many of you brothers may know. It goes something like this. That how should I quote it? They thought that the Lord was at peace with them.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Psalms 50.
They thought, yeah.
Yeah, Psalms 50, 20, innit?
Yeah. Let me just check.
55. No, that's something else.
50, it's 50.
Psalms 50 and 21.
Yeah, that's it.
21. Yeah, go on. Somebody can.
Should I read it?
Yeah.
Psalms 50 and 21, and it says, these things thou hast done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself.
Yeah.
But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
Exactly. So all of the works that Esau did, from slaughtering Gad and Reuben, and taking Jake, and you know what too? A lot of the Jakes that went into slavery, a lot of them came from Europe too. You had a good portion of them that came from West Africa, but you also had a reasonable portion, like the Benjamites in Jamaica. A lot of them are from Ireland. I went and checked out. Like there's a book called the Black Irish that came from Jamaica. So a lot of them Jamaicans came from Ireland. So and even this too, you even had certain Jakes that came from Spain and different parts of Europe. And this is why in Europe they don't really show you the real history of slavery in Europe, because what you're going to find out is that Esau was slaughtering Jake in Europe and pretty much putting them into slavery and casting them off into the New World. So you don't just have brothers from West Africa that went on cargo slave ships, but even certain Israelites from Europe that went on cargo slave ships as well. And this is what England won't tell you. Because even in the 18, 17, 1600s, you had all the Jakes that were here that ruled in England. They were conquered as slaves in Europe so they can be shipped to the other world. That's what really happened too. Go on, bro. Yeah, what you got?
Yeah, so back in Ezekiel 35, verse 3. So
No, not that one. There was another scripture. Psalms 50 and 20.
I read that already.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, so the Lord, so they thought that the Most High was with them, which he was with them to a certain degree. But at the end thereof, the Lord is going to reprove them for the works they have done, because they've actually made things worse. They've added affliction to our bonds already. You see, that's what Esau did. So Esau is now going to be reproved because of the deeds that he has done. Because they've been thinking, man, well, he did all of his work, and no God came to reprove us. No power came to reprove us. So we became great based on living by the sword of slaughtering people and taking people's lands. So we can do more violence then if there's no judgment.
Right.
Like the scripture says. And give me Ecclesiasticus.
Because judgment is not executed.
Get me that.
Yeah.
Expediently, please get me that. So Esau thought he was doing his thing because there was no judgment coming behind it. But really the Lord was setting them up from day dot when he rose on the scene and came to conquer Gad and Reuben and the likes. Go on, bro.
It's,
Whoever got it, just read it.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, so it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Right, the heart of the sons of men are fully set in their heart to do evil. And the main son of men, which is the sons of the devil, the sons of Satan, are the Edomites. They felt like, okay, well, we did all of this murdering and slaughtering and taking over land, so we can continue to build on our empire and to continue to do what we were doing from the jump, which made us great in the first place. But the Lord, at the end of thereof, is going to reprove them due to the works that they have done. Now, I want to get another scripture. Get me Lamentations now, the 4th chapter. Yeah, read that.
It's Isaiah 47 and 7, and it says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart,
Right.
neither didst thou remember
Thy latter end.
the latter end of it.
Right, their latter end before it. So they didn't consider, well, wait a minute, okay, yeah, we've done all of this violence and dirt. And now they telling people, you know, in a roundabout way, forget about it. And just really just put all of the dirt underneath the rug. But it's only so much dirt that the rug can hold, man. You see, the Most High's going to uplift that rug and you're going to see nothing but pile of dirt. And they're going to be reproved because of that. And that's why it says in Lamentations, the 4th chapter, we're going to get it. Let's get Lamentations, the 4th chapter. You know where it says, I've already discovered the sins of Zion. Now I'm going to come visit the sins of Esau. I'm saying it wrong. But you know what I mean.
The last 2 or 3 precepts of it.
Yeah.
From a different world.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Lamentations 4:21.
Something like that, yeah.
Rejoice
But he's getting to the point.
and be.
Okay.
Do you want me to go up?
No, get to the point.
Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto. The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
Yeah,
Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked.
right.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
Yeah.
He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom.
Right.
He will discover thy sins.
Right now, the Lord is going to discover the sins of Esau. So as we just read in Psalms 50 verse 20, what did that say? Let's read that again one more time, brother. Because at the end thereof, as I'm going to say again, Esau is going to be reproved by the deeds that he has done. Whatever a man sow, that shall he also reap. Colossians 3 and 25. What does that say? Let's get that, brother. Give me Colossians 3 and 25. Yeah, read that.
So Psalms 50 and 21, then it says, these things thou hast done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself.
Yep.
But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
Right, so how is he going to do that? Now we're going to get back to Lamentations, the 4th chapter again. Let's read that again.
It's Ecclesiastes 3 and 15, and it says,
Oh yes.
that which has been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and the Most High requireth that which is past.
Exactly. So the Lord is going to require every little thing that happened in the past. So when people say you got to forget, you got to let the past be the past, well, wait a minute. What about what the Most High is saying about that? Because see, I can forget about slavery. I can forget about all of these things that happened to our ancestors. I can forget about it and move on, right? But what is the Lord saying about that? The Lord said that he requires everything that is past. So what does that mean? Someone's going to have to pay for the ill deeds that they have done. Because when we understand Great Britain, how Great Britain was formulated and built up, it was built by the backs of our ancestors, blood, sweat, and tears. Same thing with America. You can't build a town or a place by violence and then ride into the sunset and there's no repercussions. There's going to be repercussions. It's just common sense. You got to use common sense, man. If you establish a town by blood, what's going to happen in the end of it? It's going to be destroyed by blood, man.
Yeah, can I make a point?
Go on, bro.
Because
Just real quick.
the comedian Godfrey was saying that it's very hypocritical to
put people in slavery, and then tell them to get on with it, let bygones be bygones, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's all monuments everywhere around the place, and you expect them to forget what you put them through.
Right, there's monuments all over the place to remind what happened in the past.
Right.
So if they were really about forgetting about the past, why are there monuments of people that destroyed certain people? Why is it that in America they're celebrating Columbus Day? Celebrating a man that slaughtered millions of people. So that shows you that Esau, he just wants you to forget, but he can then continue on in his wickedness.
He wants you to give up your integrity. He wants to strip you of your pride, your dignity. That's what this place is all about, man. You know?
That too, but really what Esau wants you to do, Esau don't want you to revenge against him. That's why he's saying, look, forget, don't worry about that. Let the past be the past. We cool with you now. We pat you on the back, we give you a good job. You know what I'm saying? We gave you your leeway to express your talents on the television. Okay? So let it go, man. Let it go. Let the past be the past. But we're not gonna let it go. And the Most High ain't gonna let it go.
That's right.
Go on, bro. Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai, it's not gonna let it go.
Right.
It's at Jeremiah 49:12, and it says, "For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunk it."
Right, we've drunk of that cup, and that same cup is going to be given to the hands of Esau, man. In the book of Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Let's continue on with that though.
And it says, "And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished?
Right, should they go unpunished? No, go on.
Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
Yeah.
For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Bozrah shall become a desolation."
Right, and that's going to be what it's going to be. Basra is going to become a desolation. What is Basra? Basra is modern day is America. Modern day Basra is America. So how are they going to drink of that cup? Well, the first part of that cup is that they're going to be pretty much nuked by their own missiles that they've created by J. Oppenheimer himself and other scientists. Yeah? And then afterwards, they're going to have to go into captivity and slavery, right? And they're going to have to endure the ass whooping, the eternal ass whooping.
That's right.
That's the cup, really as a whole. And at the same time, while they're drinking of that cup, they have to drink the dregs of that cup, the bitter part of that cup. Go on.
And it says, Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a worst, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste.
Should be a perpetual waste. America is going to be a perpetual waste. It tells you that in Isaiah 13. It says that no man shall, even an Arabian shall pitch a tent there. All the dragons shall dwell there, and the satyrs shall dance there. Breaks it all the way down to you. So that land is going to go back to what it used to be during the time of King Solomon. It was no man's land. It was called Asarel, which means another land. Okay. And Solomon at the time, he didn't go down there, but he sent the Canaanites, which were the men of traffic or business, to go down there to recover spices and apes and all kinds of stuff to beautify his kingdom. Yeah, so that's why in the midst of that time, no one dwelt there. There was no man dwelling in there. So it's going to go back to square one all over again. When Yahushua rises on the scene, which Solomon is Yahushua. If you can perceive that, if the Spirit allows you to perceive that. Yeah, so that's it on that. What, somebody had something in there.
Yeah, I've got a few. I've got Lamentations to Colossians.
Yeah. That's it right there. Yeah.
Which you want?
Lamentations 4:21 again.
Lamentations 4 and 21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
And we just read about the cup in Jeremiah 49. Go on.
Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion."
So we were in that time. And this is why the Lord has now risen us up in the third day. We're risen up by the word. It tells you that in, Hosea the 6th chapter. In the second day I shall revive thee, and on the third day we shall be raised up. So we're in the middle of that time. We're being raised up. Why? Because the iniquities of Zion has already been accomplished. So we're in that time right now. So now, what's next on the list? The Lord is now going to discover the sins and the iniquities of Edom. Going all the way back to what David was saying. What did David say in Psalms 50 and 20? That now that the Lord is going to reprove him for the deeds that he has done. Go on. They thought that the Lord was at peace with them, but later on so that the Lord can reprove them.
It says he will no more carry thee away into captivity.
Yeah, and another thing too I want to put out there is that this is our last captivity. We're not going into slavery no more. After we get delivered out of here, we're not going to be slaves anymore. The Israelites will no longer go into slavery anymore. We're going to be ruling for eternity. Because we're in slavery right now under the Edomites, which they don't want to confess and accept that they are Edomites, man. They don't want to accept it, but we have two nations. It's either Jake's ruling right now, and we're in the kingdom of heaven, or Esau's ruling right now, and we're living in hell. Looks to me, Esau's ruling.
That's right.
Just by simply using common sense. So let's read on.
It says he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
He will discover thy sins. So that's how Esau is now going to be reproved. So there's no getting no scot-free, as they thought they were going to get up scot-free. They've sent agent provocateurs, they've sent spies, they've sent whatever they've sent. They've laughed us to scorn and all kind of stuff, man. But guess what? It's not working, man.
That's right.
Because the words of the Lord are coming into full play, and they're going to manifest itself. And it's already part of the words that have been spoken is manifesting itself right now. They already got the chipping. They're already looking to persecute us. That's written. And other things are written therein to happen. So the things that are not happening yet are going to happen eventually. And eventually, when it's all said and done, you Edomites are going into slavery.
That's right.
Thus save the Lord. Thus save Yahweh, Baal Shem, Yahushua, Baal Shem, Baal. And with that, that's all I'm going to say from there. Once again, giving all praises and glory to Yahweh,
Baal Shem, Yahushua, Baal Shem, Baal.
and we closing out with that one. So, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.